Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hilmi bin Muhammad Rosli. My metric number is 1623727. So today I will present my FYP with the title of The Development of New Method to Estimate the Peak Runoff. So my presentation outline for today, first one I will talk about the introduction, the problem statement, and also the objective of my project. The second one is the literature review in the chapter 2. Is about the summary of my literature review and also the gap research that we find in my project. The third one is proposed methodology that will show the flow chart and what are the proposed parameters that we use in our project, in my project. And the last one is the conclusion. We will also show the Gantt chart for the next FYP2 continuation. The first one is the introduction. So as an overview, flow through a channel due to rainfall contain components which are direct runoff flow and also the base flow. It means that the runoff is come from the rainfall that is from the cloud, and also the peak runoff flow that we want to estimate in this project is obtained from the hydrograph. And also various methods can be used to estimate the peak runoff, and this is very important in order to design hydraulic design and also drainage design. And in my literature review, I will explain more about the various methods that can use to estimate the peak flow runoff. Next is about the problem statement. The problem statement for my FYP is the application of rational method in estimating the peak runoff flow has certain limitation. Why we have and if we have this with the certain limitation, it also will make the over design or under design in any hydraulic design that will use the peak flow runoff. And also the rational method does not take effect of catchment slope, surface runoff, moisture content and of the land, and etc. So several assumptions has been made to estimate the peak runoff by the design engineer, because they don't have specific method to use for the estimation. So the objective of my research is about the first one, to study the differences of the existing method to estimate the peak runoff flow. So there are various methods, then I will study about the different and the existing method has been done and researched by previous researcher. The second one is to investigate the effect of various parameters such as catchment slope, rainfall intensity, surface runoff, permeability, and etc. in a lab scale physical catchment. This objective come up because most of the research done by previous researcher is a field experiment. So we want to make a lab scale which can be done in my FYP. And the last one is to develop an improvement on the formula for more accurate estimation of peak runoff flow. So with a certain consideration of the parameter that taken into consideration in my FYP, it will be more improved the accuracy of the estimation of peak flow runoff. The second one is the literature review for my FYP. So in this review, various methods have been done research to understand the differences and also to understand what are the parameters used in the specific method. The first one is rational method. This is the most commonly used. It usually used for the small drainage in urban area, but it also have some limitation, which is obviously is not suitable for the large area, because in this method is also assumed that the rainfall intensity to be uniform. The second method is the hydrological procedure number 5. This hydrological procedure is done by the Department of Irrigation and Drainage of the Government of Malaysia, is to which related to the flood estimation in a small rural catchment in Peninsular Malaysia. So this method has been done for the usage of the small rural catchment area. And the statistical rational method has been included in the HP number 5 to investigate the relationship of the peak discharge and the design rainfall at that specific place of research. The third one is the hydrological procedure number 11 or HP 11. This is also done by the Department of Irrigation and Drainage of Government Malaysia, and it's about the design flood hydrograph estimation for rural catchment in Peninsular Malaysia. But for the HP number 5, it has certain limitation, which it only can be used for the catchment that have area less than 200 square miles. And as you can see in the formula, they have several parameters that use, and one of it is catchment lag. They also have the specific formula to calculate the catchment lag, which include which come up by the topographical maps. So they use one of the parameters can be included in the HP number 5. The fourth one is the regional statistical models. This is done by our lecturer and also my SB as well, by Prof. Al-Ma'mun. So this regional statistical model is done by specifically for the Peninsular Malaysia, and it also have 79. It used 79 station and also 10 flood region to analyze of the flow rate. So some parameter that has been included in the regional statistical model, as you can see, is the mean annual flood. And also for these studies, it also include and also take into consideration about the climate and also the topography, hydrological characteristic, and others, to ensure that the accuracy of the method. The fifth one is the chemical runoff and erosion from agriculture management system, or also known as crimped model. So this method, as we can see, have a lot of parameters such as rainfall amount, runoff depth, also the maximum 30-minute rainfall intensity. So they use the regression analysis to come up with this formula. The number 6 is Few et al. So this research is done in China. So in research, it use runoff depth, drainage area as the parameter, and also then in the catchment they use this they come up with they identify about the stiffness of the area for the catchment is about 40% to 67.5%, and it also limited for the drainage catchment at that specific area at the China. One of the method to done the accuracy for this method, do the comparison with the CRIMS, that just now I've been explained. So the seven is about the Kramas method, and actually this research done by at the Iran and also at the area of Cracker watershed. So they use several methods, and they such as Cregan, Horton, Fuller, and they find out that the Kramer method is the most suitable and most accurate uh, method of estimation, and this is proved by the statistical index. They use the statistical index to find the accuracy of the method they use. And the last one is the graphical peak discharge method. This is being used in USA, and it also include the pond and swamp adjustment factor. So the more factor that means the higher value of the factors, it will increase the value of the peak runoff. So next is about the proposed methodology in my FYP. So for this methodology, it has it has the flow chart. So the first one is to identify the parameter involved. So based on the several various research has been done, explained in the literature view. So I analyze what are the parameters that's most suitable to be put in this research. So we choose the range for the parameter that has been identified. Then we set up the experiment and then record the result, and then repeat the experiment for 3 times to ensure the consistency of the result, and also repeat the flow using other parameter. So the apparatus that used for this experiment is the rainfall hydrograph apparatus FM03 by Soltec. So this apparatus can be found in the Kuliah of Engineering, the Lab of Hydrology and Hydraulic. So we will use this apparatus to done my research. So these are the finalists of proposed manipulated parameters that I conclude to be included in my research. The first one is the slope catchment. So there are 3 degree of slope has been chosen for this research. The first one is 5 degree, second one is 15 degree, and the third one is 25 degree of slope catchment. The second parameter that taken into consideration for this research is rainfall intensity. So the rainfall intensity proposed for this research is from 30 mm per hour to 80 mm per hour. And the last parameters is the soil moisture. So the soil moisture proposed for this research is 21% of sand, 31% of silt, and 48% of clay. So as conclusion for this presentation, it can be clearly understand that one of the objective for this research has been achieved, which is to find what are the differences method that been used for the previous research, and what can be used for the parameter for this research. What are the parameter can be used for this research? And also in the conclusion, I will explain about the Gantt chart, which is the future works for the next FYP2. So the future for the Gantt chart is has been present here. The first one is booking laboratory in week 1, and then set up experiment. And this experiment include 3 parameters, which is slope, rainfall intensity, and soil moisture, and then analyze the result using 3 methods, proposed 3 methods, and also proceed with the report and also submission, and also the presentation for the FYP too. And I think that's all for me. Thank you.